What's going on with y'all boys? A lot of y'all been asking for this, so I wanted to drop a full spellbook sorcerer guide, including all the perks, all of the spells that I use and how I use them, and a kit building tutorial that will probably cost less than 1,000 to 2,000 gold that you guys can run in some normals. So if you guys enjoyed this little guide video, make sure to drop a like and drop a sub. And thank you guys so much for 500 subscribers. That was honestly insane. I can't believe we hit it that quick. You guys are all truly blessings, and I genuinely mean that, so thank you. And with all that being said, enjoy the video. Okay, let's start off with some perks. Before I start this, I just want to say this is for Spellbook Sorcerer only. It does not include Merge Sorcerer, Melee Sorcerer, or anything like that. This is just a Spellbook Sorcerer, the way that I like to play. First off, we have Air Mastery. Air Mastery gives 50% air knockback, 50% air bonus, which is really good for kiting classes and also dealing a lot of damage with Vortex and Wind Blast. For that reason, I'm going to put it at very good, because it's very good in multiple use cases and you can get a lot of value out of it. Next off, we have Lightning Mastery. Lightning Mastery does a multitude of things. For one, you gain 25% lightning power bonus. Also, you inflict an electric shock for 1 second, and you also transfer 5 lightning magical base damage to the closest target within 2 meters of the primary target every 2 seconds. This perk is really good with Lightning Sphere. Because of the electric shock for an extra 1 second, you essentially stun your target for an extra second while they're outside of your lightning sphere. This makes it really easy to kite in a really good spell. Therefore, I'm gonna put it at a must use. Next, we have Mana Flow. Mana Flow gives you extra magical damage bonus for every single spell that you cast. So every single time you cast a spell, you gain 5% more magical damage bonus, up to 15%. This perk was really good before, but after they nerfed it, it kind of lost its touch. Therefore, I'm gonna put it out of there or better for sure. 15% magical damage bonus is not that much. When it used to be 10% and 30, it used to be a lot better, but right now for Spellbook Sorcerer, there's other better options out. Next, we have Elemental Fury. Elemental Fury got a huge buff within the latest patch of Darker and Darker, and it's honestly insane. So for Elemental Fury, every 1% of your health you're missing, you gain 0.75 cooldown reduction bonus and 0.01% MS bonus. For kiting, this spell is absolutely essential, as well as the cooldown reduction bonus. It makes this spell almost a necessity. Therefore, I'm going to put it at a must use. Next off, we have Merged Might. Now, obviously, if you're running Spellbook Sorcerer, you're not really going to need any merge spells. So I'm going to put this at don't use unless you're trolling. Now, if you're running merge, this is a lot different. But for right now, if you're running Spellbook, definitely don't use this perk because you're not going to want to merge. Which leads you to the next perk, Innate Talent, which gains 7 magical power bonus while you're casting with your hands. Obviously, if you're casting with your hands, you're not using a Spellbook. Also, even with merge, this is not really a good spell. So I'm going to put this at a don't use unless you're trolling. Next off, we have Time Distortion. Now, Time Distortion used to be very good. What Time Distortion does is that all spell casting times are cut to 0. So you have no casting times, you insta-cast. But the cooldown times are 2 times as long, and you suffer a 15% magical power bonus debuff. Also, when you cast a spell, you get a debuff that reduces your movement speed by 3% and your action speed by 3% per stacks up to 10 stacks. And each stack lasts 8 seconds. Now, being able to cast instantly is a huge buff, but with all these debuffs, it's kind of hard to make it good. Now, if you have the right kit and you have the right build, I think Time Distortion could be one of the most broken perks in the game. And it used to be really broken before, but with all the debuffs, it's kind of good. So I'm going to put it at a meh. Next off, we have Spell Shroud. Spell Shroud gives you 25% move speed bonus while you're casting a spell. This is really good for Spellbook because you're only casting your spell with one hand, which means you don't lose as much move speed as you would if you're casting with both like you were with Merge. This makes you very quick whenever you cast, and you're able to move very fast while casting, especially using casts like Lightning Bolt and Fire Arrow. Because of this reason, I'm going to put it at very good. It's not a must use, there's other things, but it's still a very good perk. Next, we have Merge. Obviously, if you're running Spellbook, you're not going to use Merge, so I'm going to put it at the use against don't use unless you're trolling. And next, we have Apex Sorcery. Apex Sorcery recently got a nerf, and basically what the perk does is that when you're casting spells, you lose 99% move speed, but gain 50% magical damage bonus and 25% spell casting speed. This perk is very gimmicky, and if you could find the right way to use it, I think it could be really good. But for right now, I honestly think the perk is at an all-time low. Therefore, it's not necessarily trolling if you use this perk, because if you use it right, I think it could be very good. But for the sake of this video, we're going to put it out of there or better. Next off, we have Manifold. Manifold is good because it reduces your cooldown times, but then you suffer a 15% spellcasting speed debuff. In my own personal opinion, I think casting speed is very important for Spellbook Sorcerer because a lot of what you're doing is kiting and you don't really have a lot of CC. So I think this perk is not that good. Now, I see a lot of people use it. They want their cooldown times reduced, and I think that's very smart, but I think something like Elemental of Fury already does that job for you. Therefore, I'm going to put this perk at a meh. Last but not least, we have Spell Sculpting. Spell Sculpting is very essential. It essentially increases the range of all your spells to 125% and increases the area of effect by 25%, but increases your cooldown on all your spells by 25%. Like I said before, I don't really have a problem with cooldown times whenever I run Spellbook Sorcerer. And also, the area of effect and range of spells with Spellbook Sorcerer is essential. You can get a lot more range with your spells, and also things like your Eruption and your Flame Blast, as well as your Fire Arrows and your Wind Blast and your Vortex are all bigger using this perk. Therefore, I'm going to put this perk at a must use. That's it for the perks. Let's move on to the spells. For the first spell, I use Wind Blast. Wind Blast is really good for kiting people back and also knocking off magic bots. Overall, just a really good kiting plus poking tool. Next up, I have Eruption. Eruption is a really good spell for knocking people into the air and giving you time to move away or reposition. It also works against barbarians, so this is a really good spell to have. Next up is Flame Arrow. This spell does a lot of damage close and far range and is my overall main damage dealer, so definitely use this spell. Next up is Lightning Bolt. With Spell Stride, Lightning Bolt is really good to use because you move so fast while using it. It's also really good for holding people at range and is a really good mid to close range damage dealer and is definitely one of my top 3 finishers that I like to use when using Spellbook Sorcerer. Next up is Flame Strike. This spell is one of the highest damage dealing spells in your arsenal when running this Spellbook Sorcerer build. It comes from the ground just like an Eruption, and I sometimes like to combo it with Eruption. It could also be used for breaking down doors. It's pretty effective at that, and is definitely something I use a lot when I run this build. Next up, I have Vortex. This spell is one of SORC's only get out of jail free cards whenever you fail to close space or when somebody catches up to you. So definitely keep this spell in the back of your mind anytime you're fighting a close range class and you need to get out of there. Next up, we have Earth Elemental. This spell is a must and can be used in 2 different ways. 1, to section your opponents off to stop them from chasing you, and 2, to combo it and stop people from running from you, which you'll see me use a lot to secure a kill. Dude, I got that on recording too. Anyways, next is Lightning Spear. This spell is perfect for kiting people and stopping them from pushing you. As you can see in this example, I can kite him so perfectly while moving backwards while he's swinging at me. Overall, this spell is a must whenever you're fighting any class. It does a decent damage while also giving you an out anytime you're fighting. I would definitely recommend using this spell when fighting druids, fighters, and any type of melee class. Next up, we have Water Bolt, which is one of SORC's only spells that can hit through shields. This spell also decreases the movement speed of the target by 20%, so it slows them down a lot, usually messing up their swinging pattern and causing them to have to reposition or just keep running at you, which gives you time to run away and kite. Lastly, we have Flame Orb, which is a double-edged sword that does a lot of damage if you hit them directly, but can also be used to break down doors and get out of a sticky situation. Anyways, that's it for all of my spells. Now let's get into a nice, easy, and cheap kit that you could run right now in normals or high roller. Okay, this is the kit building process for the 2,500 gold kit. It might be a little bit less, but as you can see, I only have 2,500 gold. But before that, I wanted to go over a quick Squire build to show you guys how to build a Squire build. Now, for a Squire build, it's going to be a little different. You're not going to run the exact same perks as you would before. If you had completely Squire, here's what I would go. I would go with, first I'd go with Coif, then I would go with the Frock, then another Chassis, then Wizard Shoes, then Arcane Gloves, and then obviously a Spellbook and then a Longsword. Now the basis of this kit is pretty much that you're stacking as much knowledge as you can while also having a Spellbook. Now, even with this kit, you're probably not even going to want to use a Spellbook because some of you, if you don't have a Squire Quest done, are only going to have a 1 magical damage Spellbook. So what I would do instead is I would actually go and swap out maybe... Oh, sorry, these aren't my perks. There we go. I would actually end up swapping out Lightning Mastery for maybe something like Innate Talent. Now, the reason I say this is I feel like in base Squire Kit with nothing else on, it is more worthwhile to have a 7 magical power bonus rather than a 1 magical damage buff. But that all changes as soon as you get a good spellbook. Once you get above a purple or even a blue spellbook, immediately swap this out, take off Innate Talent, and then put back on either Lightning Mastery or Air Mastery or any of the perks that you decide to choose. The thing with this kit is you're going to want to try to have a lot of True Magic while also having a lot of knowledge for spellcasting speed. So I'll probably go for something like this for around 250 gold, a blue coin for true magic on it. Next, I'd go with a frock. Legendary frocks are probably going to sell for really cheap. As you can see, 190 to 200 gold. But just to keep this at blues only, we're going to go with a rare one, and we're going to try to get some good stats on it. So maybe some max health. And that's a little expensive, honestly. Maybe max health bonus. Even that's a little expensive. Honestly, this is good right here, 2 match power. Plus, you get your agility and your knowledge. The agility on the frog really negates the move speed penalty, and then you just get your knowledge pretty much. So I'd go with something like this. Next thing I'll go for is definitely some leather chassis. Now, it doesn't really matter what kind of leather chassis you get, as long as they're blue or higher, it doesn't really matter. I would try to shoot for some agility, but as you can see, that could be pretty pricey. So honestly, max health is perfect here. I'll go with these for 114 gold. Next piece I'm going to go for is probably going to be some arcane gloves. These are really good because they give you that extra move speed plus even more agility. Now, just base, they're only for 50, more than likely 100 gold. So I'll try to go for some match power, but even then that could be a little pricey. But and then again, just base, these can be good. 2 resourcefulness is always good. I'll buy those. Next is a spellbook. Now, obviously, you want it above a rare spellbook, but this spellbook is fine here. 4 magical damage is a really big buff to all of your perks and all. 4 magical damage is a really big buff to all of your spells to have. Now, honestly, I would like to go epic here because it's 200 gold, but it's 200 gold well spent. Plus, you can get some max health bonus for pretty cheap here. But to keep this video blue gear only, I'll go with the blue one and then maybe try to get some max health on it or even some agility. Actually, yeah, honestly, I'd go with this 2 agi one for 167 gold. Don't say 6. Anyways, so right now we're sitting at 33% spellcasting speed, 16 magical power bonus, 109 HP, 291 move speed, which is actually not bad. Let's start with some rings. Now for the rings, I'll probably go rings of wisdom. We could go blue here. Now, you could do all Laddie's true, which is going to cost you around 400 to 500 gold. Or you could not do all Laddie's, just do true magic, and it'll only cost you about 150 gold. If you want to splurge out a little bit, I would get some max health. Don't do max health, do max health bonus because it's going to be probably the same amount of price, and this is definitely more worthwhile. I would just buy both of these for 200 gold each. Boom, boom. 112 HP, 41% spellcasting speed. That's pretty fire. But as you can see, our magical power bonus is lacking, so let's definitely get that up. Let's start out with the Phoenix Choker. You definitely want to go epic or higher here. Any type of Phoenix Choker. The better the Phoenix Choker, the better your kit's going to be dramatically. Because Phoenix Choker adds 1 true every single time. But for the sake of the video, we'll keep it at a rare, and we'll definitely try to get some magical power bonus on here. I think this is the most you can get, right? Honestly, let's see if we can get match power, magical damage bonus. This is not bad here. For 200 gold, that's pretty much the max amount of magical power bonus you have on a Phoenix Choker. Let's buy that. There we go. Now we're at about 20%. Next for the cloak, because we want more magical power, we're going to definitely go with the Splendid Cloak. It's going to be rare, but then definitely get your true magic. You want to get as much true magic as you possibly can. It doesn't really matter what you get here. You can gem this also, but I'm just going to buy the cheapest one for 175 gold. And last but not least, a lot of people don't know about this, but I like to go for wizard shoes. They recently got a buff which increased their move speed bonus to 8, and then the magic power is still at 4. So it's kind of like a pair of Lightfoots. Now I would definitely try to get move speed bonus and try to get a good roll like this one right here. Now there's not many on the market that are going to be blue, but if you went epic or higher, as you can see, there's a lot on the market, even cheaper than the blues. 1% move speed bonus. But like I said, for the sake of the video, we're going to stay at blue and we'll try to get some additional move speed. There might be some better ones there. Yeah, these ones for 400 gold, not 400, sorry, 4 additional move speed for 222 gold right here. Boom, which ends up giving us, yeah, that's 12. 12 additional move speed, which is fire. And this honestly is a really decent budget kit here. We have 25% magical power bonus, 303%, 303 move speed, 41% spellcasting speed with 112 HP. This is honestly not a bad kit at all. With a couple of gems, you can make this a lot better. You could gem max out on this, max out on this, max out on this, max out on this. You can get a lot more HP, or if you want, you can get more magical power bonus or something like that. Honestly, this is a really nice budget kit, and if you guys want, this is definitely a budget kit that you guys can definitely use. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, definitely like and sub. This took way too long to make. We are at 500 subscribers. We hit that. It it blew my mind. So once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate y'all, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart. And I will catch y'all later. It's been a good one, deuce.